Hey there, teachers and public employees. Welcome to the Public Employee Retirement Training Channel, where we help public employees like you prepare and plan for retirement. In this video, we have a bit of a unique topic. We're talking about why Dave Ramsey's advice isn't always ideal for teachers and public employees with pensions. Dave Ramsey's advice has helped millions of Americans get out of debt and take control of their finances. But if you're a teacher or a public employee with a pension, following his one-size-fits-all plan might actually cost you more in the long run. Now, if you're a die-hard Dave Ramsey fan, it's not that we are bashing him by any means. However, those in the public sector should at least be aware that some of his strategies and advice may not be the best for people who have a different financial picture than the average American. Let's talk about why his strategies don't always work for teachers and public employees, and what you should consider instead. Part 1. Who Dave Ramsey is, and what he teaches. Dave Ramsey is famous for his 7 baby steps, a system that emphasizes budgeting, getting out of debt fast, and investing aggressively with a goal of building wealth. It's great advice for a lot of people, but it's based on a few key assumptions that don't apply to many teachers or public employees. Part 2. The pension difference. If you're a public school teacher, police officer, firefighter, or state or government worker, your pension is likely to be your biggest financial asset in retirement, sometimes worth over $1 million or even several $1 million in lifetime income. But Ramsey often skips over pensions in his advice. He focuses mostly on people relying solely on 401ks and Roth IRAs. So when he says, you need to save 15% of your income for retirement, that might not make sense for someone who will get 60 to 75% of their income for life through a pension. If you are going to be guaranteed a set amount of income in retirement, you might be able to take advantage of alternative investments in retirement that could be cash-flowing assets such as real estate or starting a business. So let's talk about debt strategies and why they might not always fit everyone's situation. Ramsey is famous for saying debt is dumb, and while being debt-free is a great goal, he tells people to avoid all forms of debt, including student loans, like the plague. But here's the thing, many teachers actually qualify for Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSLF, which can wipe out your student loans after 10 years of payments while working in public service. If you aggressively pay them off Ramsey style, you might end up paying tens of thousands more than necessary. Debt can also be a strategic wealth-building tool if leveraged properly. Ramsey also hates credit cards and advises people to pay in cash. However, there are credit cards that offer up to 5% cash back on purchases. So, if you have the discipline to pay off your credit card each month, that's free money in your pocket. For example, if you were to put $1,000 of purchases on your card each month and pay them off immediately, at the end of the year you would have earned $600 just from using your cashback credit card. On a quick side note, if you want to learn more about public employee retirement training or improve your financial literacy, create a financial plan for yourself and your family, or start planning for retirement but are not sure where to begin, be sure to check out the Retirement Roadmap and other resources in the description below. Now let's get back into it. Now let's move on to investing, specifically pensions and 403(b) or 457(b) plans. Dave recommends investing in mutual funds through Roth IRAs or 401ks, and honestly, that's solid advice in general. But many public workers have 403(b) or 457(b) options instead. And while some of those plans can have high fees, variable annuity traps, or limited fund options, Ramsey doesn't really dive into these plan types, which means his advice skips key details that matter to you. Instead of following a generic plan, you really need to evaluate your specific benefits, things like pension projections, supplemental plans, and the age you'll likely retire. Many 403(b) and 457(b) plans can cost you $100,000 or more in fees over the course of your career, so it's important to know where you are investing your money. Depending upon your situation, it may actually make more sense to utilize a Roth IRA for retirement savings, or to create a cash-flowing asset in the form of a side business or real estate investment. Now let's talk about something Dave Ramsey really hates: annuities. He often calls them a ripoff. And to be fair, a lot of annuities are packed with high fees, commissions, and confusing terms. But here's the truth. Not all annuities are created equal. In fact, for many teachers and public employees with access to 403B and 457B plans, low-cost fixed-indexed annuities can actually enhance retirement security, especially if they're used correctly. Think of it like this. Your pension gives you one guaranteed income stream. But what if you could add a second one, also guaranteed, using part of your 403B or 457B? That's exactly what a well-structured annuity can do. These types of annuities are not investments, they're income tools. They protect against market downturns and give peace of mind, especially if you're not comfortable managing a portfolio in retirement. Ramsey's broad-brush dismissal of annuities ignores this potential, and that can cause teachers and public employees to overlook a legitimate option that's designed specifically to fit their retirement reality. Just like with annuities, a lot of Dave's advice on mortgages, risk, and retirement dates assumes you're in the private sector, not working with a pension, union contract, or early retirement eligibility. Here's why that matters. Your pension gives you one stream of guaranteed income. A guaranteed income annuity can give you a second stream, starting at a set age and continuing for life. And in many cases, these annuity income riders can actually outperform the popular 4% rule of retirement withdrawals. The 4% rule says, you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio per year in retirement and not run out of money. So if you've saved $500,000, that's about $20,000 a year. But that rule is based on probability. It assumes a mix of stocks and bonds, steady returns, and a 30-year retirement horizon. Guaranteed income riders, on the other hand, are based on actuarial certainty. Many offer income rates of 5 to 7% or more, depending on your age when income begins. That same $500,000 might generate $30,000 to $35,000 a year in lifetime income, guaranteed, even if the market crashes or you live to 100. So when Ramsey says never buy an annuity, he's ignoring a tool that can actually help teachers and public workers create a more reliable and higher-paying retirement income stream, especially when paired with a pension. The key is working with a fiduciary advisor who understands how to structure low-fee, transparent, guaranteed income annuities, not the high-commission products Ramsey warns against. And just like with annuities, a lot of Ramsey's advice on mortgages, investment risk, and early retirement simply does not fit the retirement reality of educators and public employees. Ramsey encourages people to pay off their mortgage early, but for pensioned employees who will retire with guaranteed income, that may not be the best move. For example, if the interest rate on your mortgage is 4%, but your investments are earning 8% annually, it would not make sense to allocate extra cash to your mortgage. You might be better off investing extra money elsewhere, especially if you're retiring with healthcare benefits and a steady pension income. Plus, some teachers retire in their late 50s and have access to their 403B or 457B plans early, without penalties. Ramsey's strict no touching until 59.5 rule does not always apply. Dave Ramsey's advice is powerful for people who need discipline and structure. But if you're a teacher or public employee with a pension, you're in a very different position than most private sector workers. You need advice that accounts for your pension, healthcare benefits, student loan forgiveness options, and early retirement eligibility. In other words, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Just make sure the bathwater isn't made for someone in a completely different tub. If this helped you think differently about your finances as a public employee, give this video a thumbs up and share it with a teacher or public worker who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more content on smart retirement strategies for teachers and public employees. Stay informed, stay prepared, and here's to your bright future ahead. If you want to learn more about public employee retirement training or improve your financial literacy, create a financial plan for yourself and your family, or start planning for retirement but are not sure where to begin, be sure to check out the Retirement Roadmap and other resources in the description below. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, share it with a fellow teacher or public employee. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Drop your questions or any future videos you want to see in the comments, and thanks for watching.